Hey everybody, it's Glenn back in this video with the Marvel Legends Namor, the Submariner. I'm not sure exactly when Marvel dropped that moniker for him, but they have, so now like Beyonce or Rihanna or Madonna or Cher, he's now just known by his first name. Except Rainbow M&M probably knows who all those bitches are, but not poor Namor here. Well, to answer your question, Rainbow M&M, is the Submariner. And no, that's not a sandwich. But worry thee not, I will address that very question later, but first let's take some time to admire the side art. It features a portrait of Namor at his most indignant as he looks down his nose at we surface dwellers, and I like the way it transitions from a blue tone into a green one, makes it suitably aquatic. Then as we turn to the packaging back, his bio is minimal at best, reading Namor is a trident-wielding super being with tremendous strength and the ability to swim at incredible speeds. And Thomas asked which Build-A-Figure wave Namor is part of, if any. Well, he isn't, although his packaging back does picture the latest Civil War Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave. I assume that's more down to timing though, with that wave hitting mass retail at the same time that Namor is hitting Walgreens. As Namor is in fact the latest exclusive there, following on the heels of Agent Venom, Ant-Man, and the first appearance Daredevil, which I still actually don't even have. Hint, hint, somebody send me one. What? People ask for my action figures in my every video, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and we don't even have Walgreens this side of the pond. In fact, I'm only aware of them existing at all by virtue of the fact that they have exclusive Marvel Legends there, but my UK peeps, don't worry, I picked up Namor at Kapow Toys, and you can do the same if you're in the US. Keep checking your Walgreens, he'll be showing up there soon, I'm sure. Anyway, let's address who Namor is, as frankly, I was a bit surprised in the video where I unboxed my order from Kapow that some in the comments had no idea who he was. To me, he's a pretty significant Marvel character, this marking his third go-around with Marvel Legends, first appearing in only the second ever series back in the Toy Biz days of 2002. Then again in 2007, this time Legends, under the banner of Hasbro in the Fantastic Four Ronan the Accuser Build-A-Figure wave. And for those asking for comparisons with either of those, alas I don't have them, and I'm sure prices of those on eBay will take a hit, as I'll get into why, but believe me, this is the Namor you want in your collection, not those. But yeah, Namor. He's actually older than Marvel itself, his first appearance dating back to 1939, a whopping 77 years ago. And while a slim chance, but some of my audience may remember that, as my YouTube analytics tell me 1.9% of my audience is 65 plus, so if that's you, how are you? You're looking very well. And there goes that 1.9%. Namor does in fact predate Marvel itself, appearing in Timely Comics, a company that over a decade after his first appearance would eventually evolve into Marvel Comics. He's literally one of the first superheroes, and not just significant for that. In more modern times he has been in the Avengers, the Defenders, the X-Men. Now that's quite the CV to boast. In comparison, mine just consists of flipping burgers at McDonald's, some filing in a boring office job, and slumming it here on YouTube. In the comics, Namor is the product of a dalliance between a human sea captain and a princess from the underwater kingdom of Atlantis. Oh, been there, done that. Oh, did I not mention on my CV I was a sea captain? Yeah, I was. Or a princess from Atlantis, if that seems more credible to you. However, my CV can't boast being Marvel's first mutant, as that honour goes to Namor here. And by that I mean by publication and not in-comic continuity chronology, so don't jump all over me in the comments about Apocalypse and Selene or whoever else. And he is Marvel's first mutant, as while many of his abilities owe to his hybrid human Atlantean DNA, his ability to fly is a mutation beyond that. And he flies by using these little wings on his ankles, which for some reason is only now just occurring to me as kind of odd. On the action figure there are softer vinyl that's been inset into the plastic of his legs, with a sculpt detailing the feathered striations and a deco that's off-white and maybe a slight hint of blue. Now this Namor reuses many body parts first used for Grim Reaper in the Ant-Man movie Ultron Bathwave. Yet there are some key differences which have actually taken me by surprise, and the first of that is that his belt is actually sculpted into one piece with his lower torso. I was expecting that to be a separate vinyl piece, as we've seen that with many of Hasbro's Marvel Legends, including this Captain America, which coincidentally is also on the Grim Reaper body. By adding that belt as a separate vinyl piece, Hasbro saved themselves some money, as they can transform Grim Reaper into Captain America without essentially having to sculpt a new action figure. And I was also expecting much of the details of Namor's costume to be in the deco on top of the Grim Reaper or Captain America body. But no, as in fact it seems to be an entirely newly sculpted torso. If you look at the line of the deep plunging V of the costume and the outer line of the blue scales, those are actually sculpted in relief. Meanwhile, his collar is a separate piece that's been glued in. Namor's torso is in fact slimmer than Cap's, and as such I think better suits Namor. Yet Namor has the same shoulders and upper arms as Cap, and now I have the two of them side by side. I'm suddenly thinking Namor's shoulders look really big in comparison to his torso, as obviously those shoulders were sculpted to scale with a bigger torso, but that's something that's only now struck me as I have the two side by side. Previously in isolation I didn't think about it. The scales of the costume are simply deco. Even with a new torso, had they sculpted those, then they'd have to sculpt new legs too, as the scales continue there, and Hasbro only have so many pennies in the jar, and I'm grateful to be even getting a new torso. And in fact I don't even know the costume in the comics if those scales are actually layered or a printed motif of scales. Either way, it's effective. The metallic blue is pretty lush, then the black line work is surprisingly crisp. If you've watched my Legends reviews of late, you'll know my Giant Man Bathwave in particular got hit with some serious quality control issues with the deco. Yet here all I have to grumble about is a bit of a stray blue streak there, but then that's where Hasbro print that ugly number anyway. Can't you just print that on the bottom of the foot? Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, and I like it. The signature pointy ears and arching eyebrows tick boxes. A minor criticism is that I wish they'd have painted more liberally with the black of the hair around the ears. As it is, it's left him with some odd pointy ear-shaped skin behind the ears, and I guess I'd have liked a more dramatic facial expression as per the packaging side art. But then I've always liked a Namor at his wit's end and declaring all-out war on land dwellers. Imperious Rex! But that's personal preference though, so I can't fault this expression for being more heroic in its stoicism. So the card back blurb described him as trident wielding, and here it is as an accessory. Looks familiar to you, does it? That might be because it's the same one that came with the Odin Build-A-Figure in the All-Father wave. So yeah, obviously sized to a larger scale of action figure, leaving it looking a bit awkward in Namor's hands. However, in the plus column, Namor's has received more deco has received deco period, so clearly in Hasbro's eyes, the King of Atlantis outranks the King of Asgard. In addition to the trident, Namor also comes with a set of interchangeable hands. With those he can wave hello, or you can't see me. He's right, he can't, nor can he hear evil or speak it. High five, Cap. Ooh, actually, I'm just noticing Namor's hands are a lot bigger than Cap's. We know what that means, right? Now looking at articulation, his head rotates side to side and is able to look down a really good amount, but then he's not able to look up as much owing to being inhibited by that collar somewhat. At the shoulder, his arms do rotate, and then they don't move up particularly far, which I think, Joseph, is that what you were referring to? There is upper arm rotation, followed by a double jointed elbow. Then at the wrist, his hands rotate, and they're also hinge, moving up and down, as are the other set too. At the waist, he has rotation, and then an ab crunch, which moves this far forward, and then it moves this far back, and no worries with the deco not continuing up into the interior of the joint as it does. At the hips, the legs really don't move out very far, but they move much further forward, and then they don't really move back. There's upper leg rotation, followed by a double jointed knee, then there's rotation again mid-lower leg, and then at the ankle, his feet are hinge, moving backwards and forwards, and he has that crazy ankle rocker pivot that I love. And while not entirely, his ankle wings do inhibit a degree of the articulation of the pivot. Yet now, as we look at his widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor, it's actually his hip articulation and not his ankle pivot that prevents him from a wider stance. Now I'm going to take advantage of that articulation and the hole in his back, which you've no doubt already clocked during this review, and it does fit an old Toy Biz style flight stand that came with many of their Marvel Legends. So as he spins in a flying or swimming pose, I'm going to give this Namor a big recommend. Further still, I'm going to say he may just be my favourite Marvel Legends of the year to date. I know, a bold statement, as we've already had some pretty darn good ones, and we still have a wave of X-Men to come before year end, and you know I love me some X-Men. It's just a shame that as one of the better Marvel Legends, he's going to languish as a store exclusive, which narrows the market for him, especially internationally, where we don't even have Walgreens, but he is that good that it might be worth your time sweet talking an American to get your hands on one, or just coughing up that little bit extra on eBay. Anyway, with Civil War nigh upon us, get in the spirit by clicking this video to watch me stick Civil War stickers in a sticker album. It's more fun than it sounds, maybe. And stay tuned as I review the Civil War War Machine and Disco Armor Iron Man set. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and in exchange I'll love you a long time. Hope to see you next time. Bye.